Welcome back, everyone. So, in today's story time, we are continuing off from last episode. So, if you haven't seen it already, in last episode we talked about how I broke my hand beating up a bunch of thugs trying to bully some 6-year-olds. So, these thugs were definitely like 23 years old. I don't know, man. Honestly, that was not the story at all. I was just trying to. It's a way better story than what actually happened. I'm very, very sad that I've never broken anything in a cool way, you know? Like, all the stories are just really, really bad. But watch that if you haven't seen it already and find out how the embarrassing story of how I broke my hand. And tune in the future for the continued embarrassing stories of how I broke my tooth and foot. But that's not what we're talking about in today's episode. We are talking about the aftermath from when I did break my hand. So, in the last episode, in the last story, we kind of ended with I went to the hospital, I got my hand repaired, I got surgery on it. They did surgery on my hand, and everything seemed like it was going to be great, right? But my hand was in a cast, and I was kind of unable to use it for quite a long time, actually. And it was my dominant hand. It was my writing hand, you know? And I'm in university, and midterms are coming up, and then finals after that. And so I started emailing my professors. And one thing that, I don't know, if you guys are or ever were in university, please let me know what like your experience with this is. But I have never had a good experience, or I guess I have had it once, but I've mostly never had a good experience emailing with professors. You know, so I made separate emails. I emailed every single one of my professors telling them how can I prepare, or how can I take the exam with a broken hand? Like, what do you do in this kind of situation? Or can I take the exam later? Stuff like that. Out of every single one of my professors, only one responded. And now this kind of brings me into like a story on, I don't know if it's just culture differences or if I'm just actually really stupid. But okay, so I have this, maybe this is also why my professors didn't respond, because in my first year of university, I would always email my professors, hey, first name of professor, or what's going on, first name of professor, you know? I would never say, dear Professor so-and-so, you know? I would always say, let's say the name is Jack, or Professor Svenkov or something like that, and his first name is Jack. So instead of saying, dear Professor Svenkov, I would say, hey Jack, so today something, you know? And then I would write my email. And for me, I mean, that makes sense, you know? Like, I mean, these are the people that I am going to be studying under. I kind of want to, like, be on a good foot with them, you know? But I think I think it was a little bit of a difference in how people write emails, I think. Because the one professor who did respond, I said, hey, and her first name, and I said, I broke my hand, the midterm's coming up, or the final, I forget which one it was, but one of them's coming up, what can I do to be able to take it, or take it later? And she never responded. So then, of course, I sent a follow-up email to all my professors. But in the follow-up email, I continued with, hey, her first name. This is a follow-up to the previous email. Please let me know. And the only response I got was, dear student, or let me think how she exactly responded, because I think, yeah, she went, dear Mr., and then my last name. It is completely unacceptable to call a professor by their first name. Something, something, something. Please never call me that again, etc. Sincerely, or something like that. It was a very, very harsh email. She essentially told me that I was being a little prick, and I should definitely be more professional in my emails. And so, oh my god. So I was shocked. I was like, what the heck? Like, why is she responding like this? So I went to my friends and I was like, guys, isn't this insane? Like, she got so salty about this email I wrote. And they all looked at me as if I was crazy. They're like, Jonathan, what the fuck? How in the world? Like, who raised you to email a professor by their first name, and not even dear? Like, I was just like, hey, what's up? You know, like, and so I was like, wait, really? Like, you don't? That's not how you say it. Like, that's not how you write those emails. And they're like, no, what the fuck? Of course not. And so I was like, oh fuck. Well, I sent an email with like the dear professor so and so now, apologizing and asking like, what can I do? Still no response, but I think I'll apologize in person. And so I had a group project with some of my friends in that class under that professor, and we went in that day. And I was like, guys, I'm a little nervous. Can you come up with me? This is so bad. I'm telling you, my brain sometimes just like breaks. And so I walk up to the professor and I say, hey, and her first name. And my friends, they immediately, like, you can hear them like slap their hand to their forehead and they immediately turn around and run away, you know? They do not want to be associated with me at all in this situation. And I'm like, no, I mean, Professor so-and-so, like, I'm so sorry. Like, it just happens. Like, this is how, I just started like rambling and going off and trying to say sorry. And I don't know if she actually like accepted the apology ever, but I think she thought it was like funny. I think through email, you can't really tell what kind of person a person is, because it's kind of hard to tell through text. So perhaps she thought I was saying like, hey, you know, your name, like, what am I supposed to do? Give me extra credit or something like that. But I was just like, hey, what's up? You know, I'm a little lost right now. You know, can you help me like figure out what to do for my final and midterm? And so I think she realized I was a little bit of a numbskull when I went up to her in person and said, hey, Miss, I didn't even say Mrs. I just said, hey, and her first name, you know, like that. Ah, man. I sometimes look back on my first year of college and just, you know, that gif of a bunch of people just like slapping, face palming super, super hard, like slapping their forehead, like face palming. But yeah, so that's kind of how that went. In the end, I did take a couple midterms, I did take a couple finals, and then I just ended up like coming to a conclusion with the professors and my academic advisor that it would be best if I just continued from the next year. So I took like a little gap semester, and I came back and I continued off from there. This time though, the professor, she already knew who I was, and she was much nicer to me. But you know, like, things all of this happened just because I broke my hand. I don't know. I thought it was a very funny story to tell. Let me know what you guys think about it, but tune in next week, I think, for how I broke another bone in my body. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.